Hey guys, what's up? It's Apple Critics from applecritics.com. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the latest developer update for iOS 13.5.5 Beta 1. Now, this once again is exclusive to developers as of now, and it just was another update that Apple brought today. So that was super surprising, and Apple never does that. So earlier in the day, we got iOS 13.5.1 as a final public release to cover the exploit of the uncovered JB. But now we are getting the iOS 13.5.5 Beta 1. So everybody thought that iOS 13.5.1 was the final update before we went ahead and got iOS 14 Beta 1, but I guess we're wrong. So now let's go ahead and get into this video. So with iOS 13.5.5, now the build number is 17G503D. So that means that the D at the end means that it'll be less stable, but you should be able to use, but it should be decent. Now, the overall size of this software update was 4.17 gigabytes, so a pretty decent size update. It wasn't like it was 70 megabytes or anything like that. It was a whole 4.17 gigabytes, so that was a pretty large update. Now, in terms of the modem firmware, it was 1.06.00, so the modem firmware stayed the same as iOS 13.5.1. So that means that cell connectivity and overall network connection is just the same, so it didn't get any better. Now, there is no new visible features in iOS 13.5.5 Beta 1, but the performance has increased. Now, iOS 13.5 had the best performance in terms of any iOS 13, so the performance was noticeably faster. And I'm taking a look at this on my iPhone 11 Pro Max just to show you that this is the best Apple device that you can get and the best performance-wise just during my tests of it. So it's just showing slightly better performance than 13.5, and if 13.5 was the best overall performance of iOS 13, then that's really good for iOS 13.5.5. So in terms of devices that I tested it on, it shined the most on the iPhone SE. So if you're wondering, the iPhone SE will show you the best performance out of all the devices, and it'll just be the only outlier in terms of that. Now, the heat is still pretty much a little bit more improved than it was on iOS 13.5. That was just terrible in terms of the battery life, the battery drain, and everything like that. So I will do some further testing to see if Apple has fixed it in iOS 13.5.5 Beta 1. I really hope they did, because that will be key, as the battery life was terrible, and there's a lot of complaints over Twitter and over all of the online forums, and everybody was wondering why the battery life is so bad on the iPhone 11 Pro Max and on the iPhone XS Max, and why it is overheating and very hot to hold in the hand. It's really interesting that in iOS 13.5, those problems all of a sudden started cropping up. So that is pretty interesting. So I expect the battery life to be relatively the same as iOS 13.5, but I will do some further testing and then confirm that statement. Now, be sure to comment down below if you found any new features other than the ones that I mentioned in iOS 13.5.5 Beta 1. Now, in order to get access to it, you have to be a developer, but the public beta should be coming soon, and there should be about 4 betas before we get the final release, or maybe Apple will surprise us again and just give us the full public release very soon. So be sure to comment down below on what you think of Apple unveiling all these new software updates on one day, and also comment on your experience of iOS 13.5.1 and iOS 13.5.5 Beta 1 if you got your hands on it. And be sure to subscribe for more great content, and be sure to check out my website at applecritics.com for this Apple news, and more. And be sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. My username there is AppleCritics, and subscribe for more great content. And thanks for watching.